Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Keeping It Chaotic podcast. My name is Ava.
I'm Cheyenne, and today we're a fucking mess already. I don't even. Where do we start? I feel like last time it was my mic that was the issue. We did get better lighting for those of you that are watching the video, but today it was Ava's mic, so.
Yeah, we couldn't get our mics to connect to one computer for whatever reason, so that took a long time to figure out. But yeah, today we are going to be talking about best friend breakups and how we have dealt with them in the past. And yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I have so many stories on this topic. I feel I don't even know how to describe it. I unfortunately have been through a lot of friendship breakups and friendship ghosting and just things that weren't even explained to me as to why or what happened. But here we are talking about it, healing from it, and yeah.
before we say anything else, I am currently sick, so if I sound weird, that is why.
We truly are going through it this week. We also wanted to start this new segment pretty much where we talk about like I guess our favorite pop culture things of the week, or just things that really stood out to us because we are super involved with all things pop culture. So,
Our favorite pop culture moment of the week. So, mine personally is that Gypsy Rose is posting Get Ready With Me's on TikTok. I think that they are so funny.
yeah, I also love that she is on the Vile Files. I follow Nick Vile and his podcast, and that was her first podcast back, and I am so excited to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but the announcement, I was like, no way.
She's just thriving now that she's free, and we love that for her.
Good for her. Live your best life, girl. 2024, year of manifestation, and yeah.
Also in her influencer era, so love to see it.
All right. I would say mine is probably the Golden Globes whole situation. I didn't watch the whole thing, but obviously Twitter, TikTok, I've seen clips. I do want to say that I think the Joe Coy Taylor Swift joke was a little bit blown out of proportion. As a Swiftie, I wasn't bothered by it. I think he was making fun of the NFL and not so much her. And I personally don't even think she cared that much. She just, obviously, they panned to her. And of course, she was just whatever. I feel like she's used to it at this point. So,
Yeah, I kind of took her reaction as to her just not thinking the joke was funny. She was just living her best life. She was there. If she had whatever reaction she had, I don't think that it should have been blown out of proportion the way that it was. I don't think that she was really affected by it.
no, I just think majority of his jokes weren't landing. So I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. The thing that did bother me was the Barbie comments because, come on. I feel like it was a cheap shot, and then you're just and Barbie had big boobies. I don't know. I just feel like the entire premise of the movie was to explain what women go through on a daily basis, and then it was just a stupid joke that just kind of obviously went over a man's head. So, yeah, that was, I feel the only thing that truly bothered me. I just feel everything else just wasn't very funny and the jokes weren't landing. But yeah, that's my pop culture pick of the week.
Okay, for starters, as a girl, I've dealt with a lot of best friend breakups my whole life. And unfortunately, it is very common for girls to have to go through that, but very specifically, teenage girls that have to deal with best friend breakups so often. And it's such a struggle. So if you are listening right now and you are going through a best friend breakup of any sort, know that you are not alone, and every single girl is standing with you, and we understand what it's like to go through that. But trust me when I say that eventually you will understand why you guys had to go your separate ways.
And it truly gets so much better. You get older, you meet people through work or on social media, just like different ways. Um, and then you just finally start to realize, like, wow, I was in a really unhealthy friendship, or just you start to see things that you didn't see obviously back then when you were like in high school or 18, 19, and you're just like, wow, this is what like a healthy friendship looks like. Like, this is insanely different. So just know that, like, as your big sister kind of podcasters, I guess, like it does get a million times better. It is gonna suck for the moment because I truly feel like best friend breakups are worse than relationship breakups. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of talk about how we can heal through that, our experiences, and just give our advice. What? Give our advice as best as possible.
Okay, so I had a very, I would say, large friend group in high school due to the fact that I was on dance team for all 4 years. And so I was spending every single day, like 90% of my time with the same group of like 15 to 16 girls. And yeah, we all got along pretty well, I would say, considering the fact that, we were like a group of 15 girls, a group of 15 teenage girls, which I think is very hard to like.
Chaotic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a very large friend group, and I think that ultimately led to a lot of friendship breakups that maybe I didn't see coming or that like I hoped would never happen. And I was part of a trio that was thriving for a very long time. And you see all these things on social media that say like trios never work out, and I feel like you never really want to believe that until it happens to you. And it happened to me, and it was unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, I playing off of that trio thing, I just feel like it's hard having so many like opinions, I feel like as far as big friend groups, because I also had a really big friend group in high school. Trio friendships, there's just, I don't want to say favoritism, but I think that particularly there are always more like two friends that are a little bit closer, and then the third one just feels left out sometimes. And the dynamic of it in the beginning, it's like, wow, this is amazing. I love it. But I feel like every trio friendship that I've had, there's always one that they just kind of leave the group or are very vocal about how they get treated differently, or there's just always like an issue, at least from my experience. So it's tough because you definitely now see stuff on social media that's like, oh, they're gonna like not be friends soon or whatever, and it's terrible. And I'm not saying that they never work out, but majority of the time they end in the most dramatic ways. So
Okay, so I still talk to one of the girls in our trio. Um, the other one I haven't talked to in almost 2 years. And honestly, it just came to a point where I felt like I was putting more into our relationship than she was. Um, both of the girls were the grade above me, so they graduated the year before I did. Um, and I think that I knew that things were going to be different once they graduated because we were both like moving away, and they were both moving away, and we were both all just going to be in different places. So I didn't see them that often, and then it kind of just came to the point where this one girl was like not willing to share anything that she was going through with us, and like she was going through something. I was hearing about it from other people who weren't even as close to her as I was, and like she expected us to comfort her and to be there for her, and I did, and I tried to be there for her, but I also told her like, I don't know what you're going through because you chose for whatever reason not to tell me. So I just don't know what you want me to say or how you want me to like handle this situation and try to help you because I don't know anything that you went through. So I think I just got to a point where I didn't want to drag that relationship on anymore because I didn't feel like I was being appreciated enough. And like I was just tired of it.
Yeah, it's hard to be friends with somebody that doesn't share as much as you're willing to share with them, I feel like. So it's tough because you want to be there, but you don't know how to. So then in their head, you're the bad friend. You're not reaching out to them. I needed you when I was going through something, but you also didn't let me know what you were going through, so you can't blame me on that. I was there to the best ability that I could be there, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I did my best, I did my part, and yeah, it's hard to help somebody that doesn't want to be helped necessarily, and they want everyone to kind of side with them on like things. Like they want everyone to have the same opinion as them, and it doesn't work out that way. And I feel like a lot of friendships that I've been in have asked for advice, and then I give them, my 2 cents. And I feel like people that are close to me now, when they ask for advice, I kind of tell them, like, do you want the truth or do you want me to be nice? Like, because there's two different sides to every story. And I will 100% be that friend that'll be honest about whatever you need advice on, but also you can't be upset at me if like you're asking for the advice. So I feel like a lot of friendships have ended that way for me. And in no way am I being like rude or judgmental. Like I'm genuinely here to help you in whatever you need. But I feel like a lot of the time it comes out the wrong way. And I don't mean for it to, but sometimes honesty ends friendships and it's unfortunate, but happens. I feel like with that topic, like for me, a lot of my friendships have ended because of boys and stupid reasons, I think. But when you're a teenage girl and you think you're in love and the world's gonna end if, you don't stay with this person forever, it gets tricky because, like I said, I'm pretty honest. And in high school, I had really good friends who, like, I mean, I had a big friend group, so there was a lot of girls, a lot of relationships that were happening amongst our friend group, and obviously things get tricky during that. So I feel like boys just make everything harder. Like, as far as friendships, because, like, when you have a best friend and then they start dating someone, obviously, like, they're excited about it, they're gonna hang out with them, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm excited for you, I'm happy for you. But when they start treating you badly and then you just abandon your friend group and then expect us to like be there when you've ignored us the entire time is like not not fair to us as your friends who you've ignored until something happens with that person. Um yeah, I'm honestly all of my friendships that have ended because of boys. So,
Yeah, I feel like when girls get into relationships, they kind of forget that they have other people in their lives who care about them just as much as their significant other does. And that's like a huge part of navigating like who to spend time with when you're in a relationship.
yeah, and you make time for people that you truly care about. And I understand, like, you get excited and, it's new and this person is like perfect in your eyes because, like, I was in a relationship in high school and I thought the same thing. And I look back now and I'm like, girl, you were not in love. That was a terrible person. Like, but also with that, like, I grew so much and, like, I know so much now as far as, like, being in a relationship because, yeah, back then was just it was very different times, I feel like, and it's unfortunate because you watch your best friends being treated like absolute shit and you want to do so much to help, but like I said earlier, you can't really help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. So it gets tricky because you give your 2 cents and you want to be helpful, but you also want to be respectful because obviously, like, this person is important to them. But I feel like there's a line where, like, you see so much and you're like, yeah, this is not okay. And a lot of the times, the girls would get upset at me and say, like, this is none of your business. And I'm happy. You should be happy for me. And it's like, I am. But this person is treating you like absolute shit. And you deserve so much better. So it just is kind of like a domino effect of things. And I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm grateful that they happened now where I am in life. But back then, it was like the most devastating friendship loss that I have ever been through. And I feel like there's two friendships that like broke me completely to where I was just like, I am never gonna have friends again. And like, I'm gonna be alone. And it just truly like broke my heart. I think I was so heartbroken for so long. And you are just constantly with these people like for so long, and then it to just end is like traumatizing in a sense. Like, I feel like you don't want to get close to people after that.
Yeah, to be so close with someone for so long and have them know every single thing about your life and everything that you do, and then randomly one day just like have them completely go from, your best friend to pretty much a stranger is very like hard to like wrap your head around.
Yeah, I went through like my first real friendship heartbreak breakup my senior year of high school. I think I had known the girl literally my entire life. Like, we had known each other since we were 4 years old, and she started dating somebody that I truthfully hated. I did not like him whatsoever. And I think she was this amazing person, and it just, unfortunately, she chose him over me. And obviously, it's an extremely long story. I'm not going to like share details, but it's just, I think at that point in time, I was just like, how can you like pick someone that you just met over somebody you've known your entire life? Like, I couldn't process that at the time. So it was just like this huge eye opening thing. And, she separated from our friend group, obviously, because everyone kind of agreed. Like, we didn't really like this person that she was dating. So she, made new friends and stuff. And it was hard because obviously it was our senior year. Like, we didn't go to prom together. We didn't do any of like the dances, no senior breakfast, no graduation together. Like, it was just awkward. Like, we still like kind of talked, but you can tell that like she did not want to be part of our friend group. And it was just tough because like I feel like it's harder when families are involved too. Like, I had known their family my entire life. I was there all the time. She was always at my house. Like, we were each other's cover. Like, you call your mom, say I'm staying at your house, and like vice versa. Like, I feel like girls in high school like always have that friend, and that was my person. And it just, was devastating when all of it happened. But you learn from it, you grow, and you heal. You understand why things happen, and you just hope that like you can find a friend like that eventually.
So when I graduated high school, I stopped talking to literally everyone. I probably only talked to maybe currently I only talk to four people, maybe four people. And two of them are guys, which, guys are a lot less drama. And they're like my best friends. Um, but I, okay, I hated where I grew up, and I lived there for 15 years. And I don't know, I've kind of never called that place home. And like you can talk to other people from there and they can say that it's like the best city, and I just never had that experience. I just never felt connected to it the way other people have. And like to each their own, but that just wasn't my experience. Um so for a very long time I just wanted to move, and I knew that obviously I couldn't until I graduated high school and I could move and go to college wherever I was going to go to college. Um, so my junior year was cut short from COVID, and I spent my entire senior year at home doing online school. Um, and during that time, I kind of distanced myself from everyone because I wasn't seeing anyone at school. I was going to dance practice like once a week at school, but I wasn't really talking to anyone. I wasn't really putting myself out there during that time because, in my mind, once I graduated, I was getting out of there. And I had two choices. I could either leave and drop everyone that I ever knew from there and have a fresh start, or I could continue to drag those relationships along with me and, eventually lose them as time moved on. So I chose the first option. I moved to LA. I moved to, a city that I wanted to live in my whole life. And I was looking forward to living there so much that I saw it as like a fresh start. So I graduated, deleted everyone off my social media, deleted their contacts, got a new number. Like, I just truly saw it as a fresh start for myself that I couldn't wait to start. And I don't really regret it because I grew so much just being able to take so much time to myself and not having to worry about like not having to worry or be dependent on my friends or a group of friends because I did that for so long in high school. I couldn't be alone because people would think I'd had no friends, and I couldn't be alone because I just didn't want to spend time with myself. But doing this really helped me grow as a person, and I just don't regret it at all.
Yeah, I feel the whole thing with like depending on friendships and not being able to do anything by yourself, a lot of my anxiety stems from that, and it's so hard for me. Like I'm getting a little bit better. I feel like I'm just gonna throw that out there, but it was so tough for me to do anything by myself. Like if none of my friends were available, I just couldn't do the thing. I was extremely lucky after I graduated. My grandma surprised me with a trip to Europe because we have family that lives in London. So she surprised me. We were going to London, Spain, Italy, and I just was so excited because it was a trip that I never in my life thought would happen for me. And it truly helped me heal, I think, through that time because mental health wise, I was just a wreck. Like, I couldn't understand why everything friendship wise was ending. So I kind of took this as an opportunity to just start over in that sense. I started like new social media, new Instagram account, and I only like followed people that I was still like friends with, or I just to like keep those barriers healthy. And if I seen stuff that they were posting, like I knew it was gonna upset me, especially because a lot of them were hanging out with each other still. And then I was just getting like FOMO, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start new social media. And I went on this trip, and it was honestly life changing. Like I went with my family members, and we were there for a month. So we started in Spain, we eventually went to Italy, and then we ended the trip in London. And I truly feel like I came back a different person. I had like new perspective and new goals. I just wanted to kind of branch out and be my own person instead of just being somebody that was in this huge friend group in high school. And I'm so thankful for that. And I think now looking back on it, I understand why I was so upset, but everything happens for a reason. And, I still like follow people that I was really, really close with, and we don't really talk very much at all, other than like maybe a few story replies, like, so happy for you, congrats. Some people have kids, some people are married now, like, which is insane because I feel like I graduated high school like a couple years ago, and I graduated in 2016. So it's been a while, but if something good happens in their life, I'm not going to sit here and be bitter. Like, I feel like I've healed from it to where I can say, "Oh my gosh, congratulations, so happy for you." And just kind of like move on with my day. Like, I don't know. It took a long time definitely to heal and get through it. But since then, I've made so many incredible friendships and healthy friendships, and especially female friendships to where people are just like empowering and are excited for you and are happy and like truly support you instead of like pitting against you, I feel like. So it's truly heartwarming now that I've experienced it and have healed from it, but definitely the time of it happening was just a lot.
Yeah, and I will say that what I did and how I handled, leaving and just removing everyone was harsh. Like, I see that and I understand that and I totally get it. Um, but like I said, I don't regret it. I think probably for like one friendship in all of those, I regret it for that one friendship because there was never anything wrong with our friendship. And I didn't remove absolutely everyone. I kept, like you said, like people that I was still pretty close to and who I still cared about. Um,
Whose like friendship was worth saving, I feel like, and not just like these random, not random people, but people like you knew the friendship wasn't healthy or something was going to happen eventually.
yeah, exactly. But I do regret like just leaving this friendship, this one specific friendship, the way that I did because she was honestly one of the best friends that I've ever had, and I still support her, and I'm always going to be rooting for her in her life and everything. Um, but we still follow each other on social media, and she may not always know that I support her through everything, but I do, and I show it in the best ways that I can. And yeah, I just hope that like they know that I still care because I probably won't ever won't ever say that to them.
Yeah, I get that. It's hard I feel like it's hard to accept, like, part of you still wants to be friends with them in a way, but you don't know how to like approach it, and you don't know like what's crossing the line in a sense, because especially if like you did end it and then they're like, "Oh, now you want to come back in my life," so it's you don't really like know how to deal with that. So it gets tough, but I mean, there's still people that I want to reach out to, and I'm like, "Hey, let's get lunch or something," but it's also intimidating because you're like, what if we have nothing in common anymore? Like, what if we're at this lunch and then we realize, like, yeah, we're just not meant to be friends? And it's hard because you don't want to be the person that reaches out, but they'll never reach out to you. So trying to figure that out is tough because truly, like, I'm not angry or bitter the way that I was way back when. Like, I'm so open to continuing friendships as long as like it didn't end in a toxic dramatic way. Like, I feel like if we never did anything to each other and we just kind of like fell out because of life or whatever was happening, like, I feel like the door is always open in that sense, but it's just hard to navigate how to like continue that friendship, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like just because, you know, you break up with someone doesn't mean that like those memories meant nothing. I think that, I'll always have those memories that I made with those girls, like in the back of my mind. Like they're always going to be there. I'll always have the videos. Um, but things are different, and you grow up, you grow out of relationships and friendships, and people change. And, I think that we're all just like at a different point in our lives. Like no one is at the same point in their life as you. And that's important to remember that you're never going to stay friends with, the same people throughout your whole entire life, unfortunately.
And if you do, that's incredible. Like, how do you do that?
Honestly, good for you because it could not be me.
And I don't think, like, I think as you get older, you realize, like, people are on completely different paths than you. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you realize, like, wow, I don't have anything in common with this person anymore. But I feel like holding on to the friendship and like prolonging ending it kind of like backfires in a way because it's not fair to them, I think. Like, it's not fair to like drag them along in the sense of like, I don't really want to hang out with you, but I'm doing it to like, because I feel bad, you know? So it's tough when you get older, I feel like, to maintain friendships because everyone is on their own schedule and people have kids or people have jobs and just lifestyles that are completely different, and that's okay. You grow up and you just do you. And I think the best friendships are the low maintenance friendships to where you don't have to check in with them every day. You don't have to see them every week. You can see them monthly, every couple of months. Just check in. Hey, miss you. Hope you're doing good. I seen you're doing this. So proud of you. That's that. And they don't get upset because you can't hang out every week or, things change. And I feel like since having kids, I've lost a lot of friendships, and it truly gets so much harder when you get older, but I think the real ones stay around, and people that are meant to be in your life will be there if they truly want to be there.
Yes, I totally agree with everything that you just said. It's also just very hard to see, like, if you do follow them on social media still after the breakup, it's hard to see them living life without you. But, like I said in the beginning of this episode, eventually, as time passes, you'll understand why you guys had to go your separate ways. And I will always, always remember that. Okay, we're going to end this episode because we are
I'm getting my feels and I'm getting myself sad.
about to cry. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you haven't seen last week's episode, make sure to do so, and also make sure to
Follow us on all of our socials, subscribe on Spotify, and we are now officially on all streaming platforms. I think except for Apple. I'm just gonna, because I had an issue with podcasts with Apple, but literally every other platform you can listen to us. Just search Keeping It Chaotic. All of our social media is Keeping It Chaotic Pod. So yeah, just follow us on that. We'll be posting a lot more now that we are recording more episodes. And check out our YouTube videos if you're not already watching it.
and yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.